Bob Logic.
You're good to go, Mr. Chairman.
Anyway,
Okay.
okay, these are signed, right?
No, you haven't signed them yet.
I know, I gotta sign them.
Here we go.
Joe hasn't signed them either.
Okay.
Good afternoon. I'm now going to call the Wednesday, April 10th, 2024 meeting of the Norfolk County Commission to order. Please join me in saluting the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. On Wednesday, March 29th, 2023, Governor Healy signed into law Chapter 2 of the Acts of 2023. An act making appropriations for fiscal year 2023, which includes a 2-year extension of the option for public bodies to hold remote meetings by suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, Mass General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 20. That action was effective immediately, extending the current option for remote meetings through March 31st of 2025. Good afternoon. We're live and also remote on Zoom.
Votes may be taken on any of the content listed in the.
Votes might be
We'll
taken.
call the roll. Commissioner Stady,
I am present, sir.
Commissioner Collins, Commissioner Shea is present. No executive session today. Minutes of the open meeting of April 3rd, 2024 for approval.
Move approval as presented, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
We had no executive session on April 3rd. Oh, yes, we did.
No, there was. I
I'm
think
sorry, there was.
Yeah.
Minutes of the executive session of April 3rd, 2024 for approval.
I move approval of the meeting minutes not to be released until such time as the chair so declares.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
just a point of order. The commissioners may recall deferring on 2 meeting minutes in the month of March. They're being reworked as requested and will be before you hopefully as early as next week. Thank you.
Thank you. Number 6, we have no appointments. Number 7, public comment. Every meeting we have a section for public comment. Now is that time. If there's anyone in person or remote that would like to speak, now is the time. We ask that you keep your comments to 3 minutes. Director Cronin, do you have anyone that's contacted you relative to this?
No, sir.
Last call for public comment. Okay, no public comment this meeting. Number 8, old business. We have none. Number 9, personnel matters for consideration. Commissioner Stady.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. The first set of appointments have to do with the Norfolk County Agricultural School. And the first 3 deal with contingent employment. I move the following. I notice of contingent employment for Alexa Silver of Oxford, Mass., student worker for the rate stated, effective date 4/11/24. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
It is a vote. Next.
Next, I move approval. I notice for contingent employment of Michael Robinson of Boston, Mass., student worker at the rate stated, effective date for Michael is 4/22/24. So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
It is a vote. Next.
And third, I move approval of notice of contingent employment for Ella Henriksen. Am I reading that right?
Hendricks.
Henriksen of Medway, Mass., student worker at the rate stated, effective date 4/11/24. So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
It is a vote.
The next
Next.
2 are different. First, I move a notice of resignation for Marguerite Cameron of Rockland, Mass. as a student worker at the rate that was stated, effective date is 4/4/24. So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye. And the last one, notice of an address change for Ava Griffin of East Walpole as a student worker, flat rate, the rate stated and effective date 4/1/24. So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye. That concludes the Aggie School. Next is the President's Golf Course, Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
Notice of a job title change for Christopher Holmes of Dorchester, Mass. As seasonal golf course associate, the rate stated, effective 4/11/24. So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Approved.
Aye.
I'm aye.
It is a vote.
The last one, notice the job title change for Lauren Chin of Boston as seasonal golf course associate. The rate stated effective 4/11/24.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, that
That
concludes.
concludes that, right?
Personnel for today. Do we have any warrant report today?
Oh, yeah,
It's not on the agenda. Go ahead.
I thought there was. Hold on a second. In my map.
Sorry, that's the
All right, I
agenda.
got it. There's four, Mr. Chairman. Warrant list of 4/10/24. First, I move for approval of 24-40. Payroll of the county, the sum of $146,154.31. So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
It is a vote.
Next, I move approval for the payroll of the school, 24-40, parentheses 20.1, the sum of $255.65. So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. It is a vote. Next.
Two expense items for the county, 040224, move approval of the sum of $35,720.51. So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye. And last, expense for the school, 24-10, I move the sum of $112,727.96. So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye. That concludes the warrant, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Number 10, opera update, Director Cronin.
Thank you, Commissioner. Just before I get started, I note on the agenda, we have a 1:30 bid opening, so I will be happy to give you the ARPA update, and if you so choose, Mr. Chairman, I will then go right into item number 13 to place some time between now and the 1:30 appointment.
So we're gonna do the opera first and then the report of the county director.
If that's okay with you.
Sure.
All right, so regarding updates, as you know, there are no awards this week. We are tracking 5 applications currently ready for review in the portal. I'll be looking at those between now and next week. These applications are primarily, appreciate it very much. Closeout application related pieces, so we're getting close to the end on some of these, and I'll note that next week when you see them. In addition, I will be planning to put in 3 new county applications in our space, one for the Dedham Superior Court, one for Dedham District Court. This would be the architectural services that you previously approved under the supplemental, which would be before the advisory board this evening. We're looking to fund it, if you may recall, through ARPA interest initially, and then once the ARPA grant awards are permitted through your work, we'll charge them back through ARPA instead of using interest. And those 2 items are permissible. I've already sort of tested them with Clifton Larson, so they're good to go. I just have to get them in. And the last one is an item that we had planned to put in, but have waited until the closeout space. These are HVAC related items for several of our courthouses, including Stoughton, Brookline, and Dedham, and I think Rentham. These are upgrades to our existing heating systems. The commissioners may recall that at one point there was a strong interest to overhaul or install all new green or greener and more efficient heating systems in our various courts. Many of them, you may know though, are heated through steam. Have large boiler systems and steam heating pipes throughout the buildings. Overhauling that would have been exorbitant in the 7-figure range. Instead, we're looking to retrofit several of the burners on the front of the boilers that can be eligible for ARPA. And we'll be looking to do that. I think the total project cost for all the relative courts is around $200,000. So between the Dedham Superior and Dedham District Court pieces plus this new piece, I'm going to put them in soon. They may be before you next week or the week after. And that will pretty much complete during the closeout period the county's application process. We'll revisit that probably later in the summer as we start to see what's available and how things are trending. Furthermore, I just want to make a footnote. Late 2023, early 2024, we were contacted by Sheriff McDermott relative to an interest in, I think it was 2 projects,
Like
if
a
I'm
vehicle
not
or something
mistaken.
like that?
Program related, they were quite large. We've essentially told the sheriff that we were looking to revisit his request later in the year, specifically around the June time period to see how things are trending. We will be contacting the sheriff's office in the next month or so to see if we can discuss a more scalable project that would possibly be available as we approach the end of our funding.
Okay.
You remember what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
I think the sheriff came in to have a
He
presentation,
did.
and forgive me, I don't remember the specifics, but I think there were 2 prongs. Each was $500,000 each,
That's
if
right.
I'm not mistaken.
That's right. No,
So
That's right.
we haven't forgotten about them, but we are going to pulse them towards the period of time when the closeout period ends, so we know what we're dealing with. But we want to get these in now so that we're in sync with our communities and obviously give ourselves the chance to get the work obligated and completed before the period of December 31st, 2024. Thank you. Mr. Chairman, I think Mr. Stady has a question.
Any questions relative to opera update of Director Cronin?
Yeah, quick question.
Sure,
And
go
for you,
ahead,
To the chair.
Commissioner.
So the heating system, we'll talk about that real quick. We talked about Dedham District and Dedham Superior. You talked about that, the boilers. The retrofit?
no.
No, I get the wrong course.
No,
You said there's two we're gonna make
yeah.
improvements on.
Dedham Superior and Dedham District,
Right.
those are large projects. One is funded by ARPA,
Right.
the other one is funded by capital improvement.
Right.
This particular application will be to fund the architectural and mechanical engineer support needed to see this project through. They're going to help Mr. McGowan draft the RFRs and prepare them for bid.
Okay.
And then once the bids are awarded, the architect, engineer, Mr. McGowan will be making sure that the work is done according to scope of bid.
Okay, my
So-
question was, sorry,
That's
let me interrupt politely. What about the other courts? Were these like the top 2 priorities? Is that why we're going with those two? What about Stoughton or Brookline or Rentham? As far as heating, was
Oh,
that?
So
these two
I
that-
was giving you a recollection from the quote that we received late last year to provide HVAC improvements, and I thought my memory may be incorrect. I'll be happy to give you the details when we get back to my office, but I believe it included Brookline, Rentham, Stoughton, and perhaps Dedham District Court. These are heating system retrofits.
Okay.
Smaller scale, not whole scale. We cannot replace what we have there. It's just too expensive.
Right, understood. Okay,
And
yep.
the tune of that projected cost was approximately $210,000, if I recall correctly. So all of these will pretty much complete the county's applications for now until we get to the sheriff's piece and whatever comes after
Got it.
that.
Okay.
Pump
Yeah,
capacity.
thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, John.
That was all I have this afternoon on the Harper updates.
Okay, we have no objections. We're going to jump to number 13 before we open the bid. Report of the county director.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. At this point, I'll ask Bill to pull up a rendering which each of the commissioners have that was provided to me by the trial court. As the commissioners may know, Dedham Superior Court will be hosting a very large scale trial starting next week. This particular trial is expected to have quite a lot of press interest as well as visitors and interested parties. As a result, last week, the court ruled to provide what's called a buffer zone protection area around the court of 200 feet. So this rendering, which you'll have to strain your eyes to see, has a red box around it, primarily from the rear of Dedham Superior Court down Old River Place, and then thus to the rear of the Dedham Superior Court, the Registry of Deeds parking lot. You can see part of Ames Street is consumed, and a little bit of the municipal lot behind Dedham District also. This particular buffer zone is proposed to be used by law enforcement to keep court personnel, jurors, and others doing business in and around Dedham Superior, Dedham District, and the registry safe. I'll be meeting with our facility management staff tomorrow to go over the Norfolk County role during all this. We've been in close communication with Mr. Court Officer Timothy Rose, who's been feeding us information that the state police have identified. Essentially, they want to make sure that, again, safety first, and free access to justice, free and easy access to justice is enabled within the buffer zone rules. One of the things we're concerned about is that with all the potential visitors, parking may become an issue. So law enforcement will be monitoring parking on Ames Street, High Street, and surrounding areas. We want to make sure that the Dedham District Court municipal lot across the street from the commissioner's office is open for court and county personnel only. I plan to explain to Mr. McGowan, Mr. Vignoni, and their staff that I would like a rover to be tending the lot during the days, especially during juror selection, that we expect a large amount of visitors to ensure that employees and official visitors to the court systems have a place to park. The rear of the registry parking lot is expected to be more available for press parking and other interested parties. So the rear parking lot on Ames Street will be monitored again by a rover to ensure people are moving safely and freely through the area. The commissioner should be advised that the buffer zone or agreements, I should say, with the press and the court have included a single stream within the courtroom. It'll be not monitored, excuse me. It'll be taped by Court TV. They're going to be setting up a system to feed the cable in through one of the windows into the second floor. And then thus the cable will be flowing through the courtroom to an area outside the courtroom where the press will be monitoring the case in the area. And I mentioned to court personnel, as long as any of the work that's proposed by Court TV or onlookers does not impact the physical envelope of the building, they're not breaking any walls, they're not penetrating anything, we were fine with whatever plans they were conducting. But I think the presiding justice recognized the overwhelming press interest, but having one feed kind of streamlines a lot of that and opens up the courtroom for others to attend. So overall, the Commonwealth is doing a great job, we think, making ready this space, but they do expect starting Tuesday, that's April 16th, I believe, a fair amount of activity in and around the area. How long that lasts, we don't know. Juror selection will be at least 2 weeks. So we expect during that period of time, the intensive visitation and interest from the public and others to be among us. But maybe after that, it will trail off as the court seats its jurors and begins its proceedings more formally. Over the next several weeks, we ask anyone who's listening, if they have any concerns, call my office. We'll make sure that court personnel are alerted immediately. One other item I just want to alert you, and I'll inform our facility staff of the same, commissioners, is your staff obviously takes care of the buildings inside and out. We plan to have a cleaning done of the outside of the building from a landscaping perspective. The lawns are currently tethered off with yellow tape. And our court personnel that clean the inside of the buildings will need to, on a daily basis, check in through security and be scanned through security, as does every other visitor during this court trial. They're expecting a fair amount of interest and activity. Everyone will have to go through the same regimen of being searched and secured before they enter the building. So despite the fact that our custodians are in and out of the building throughout every day, they must adhere to the security protocol for the safety of everyone. And I don't think we'll have any problems with that. So as a view, I just wanted to alert you what is expected over the next several weeks here in Norfolk County as this trial gets underway. We'll stay in contact with our court security folks to let them know of any concerns, but hopefully there won't be any. I just want to introduce that as the first item on my update.
Any questions, commissions?
Right, yes, I could, Mr. Chairman. So we're technically outside the buffer zone, right?
We are. This building is.
This
Yes.
building is? Okay. So in essence, you're saying anyone who would be traveling into the buffer area will be stopped and searched or present proper
No,
ID?
just going to the courthouse.
The buffer zone is designed to be a safety zone. We just want people to make sure that they can enter the parking area safely, carry forward into the court space as much as they need to.
Okay,
We're not searching anybody. Our
Okay,
our
okay.
personnel are simply there to keep eyes on property, make sure people are safe,
okay,
and if there are any concerns, report them up through my office.
Okay.
That's it.
okay,
Once they get inside the court,
right,
that's where the security screening occurs.
okay. All right, thank you. All right, good, good.
So I'll alert the commissioners if anything comes up or requires a further discussion.
Mhm.
I notice I notice on this rendering, which is an actual photo,
Mhm.
it's quite recent, I believe, that some people park to the rear of the parking lot or down the middle. They may be public. They could be employees who are working out their cardiovascular to walk to the court. I wonder if we should notify our employees that use that parking lot. I assume they're mainly registered deeds folks.
Yeah.
People who use that building about this so that they may want to pull up
Yes.
a little more tight, but I'm sure.
I think.
We just want to get the word out early so everyone
Yes,
knows.
and Bill, if you can pull
Notify.
that image back up, the commissioner brings up a good point I failed to note earlier. If viewers of this meeting are at the registry of deeds right now, their first concerns would be, am I going to be assured a parking space when I come to work? Am I going to endure any difficulty? Bill, if you could zoom into the area behind the registry. So as you can see from this rendering, as Commissioner Shea pointed out, there's a fair amount of activity towards the first two rows behind the registry. We'll be looking to cordon off those areas for employees of the registry and the building in general to have access and exclusive parking rights too.
So that's,
That won't be for visitors, and I think that's your point. The visitors will be primarily down towards what we see on the right as the
Back,
blue
yeah.
house in the rear of
from the
lot.
second driveway down.
Yeah, like back there. Yeah.
Right. There's a hut or a small shed right near that entrance point of Old River Place. And our rovers will be moving in and out of that shed as a point of operations to make sure that people have any questions about parking or access, they can ask the rover, but we'll be, again, making sure that registry workers and individuals that use the building have ample parking secured and reserved for their uses. Okay. We'll do the same at the lot
I was
across the
going to
street.
ask you that. Dave.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you about that.
In general, the press and visitors and other folks interested will be using the rear of the lot. That's the design.
Very good.
Any other questions or points?
Oh, good. Thank you.
All right, a couple of other quick items. It's been a while since we've had a recognition of years of service for the county. Our HR folks are looking at the latest rendering. I know we have at least one that just passed. That will be Carl Miner, and some others will bringing forth to the commissioners to recognize for their milestones of years of service to the county. Coming soon. I want to thank Bill Buckley, who on Friday, before he joined the County Commissioners Association meeting, completed the application for congressionally directed spending on behalf of the Norfolk County Agricultural High School. He and I discussed this in the morning. There are a couple of purposeful areas that so-called CDS applications would fit nicely in with the schools, and one is the agricultural use curriculum piece, and there's also another prong that Bill discussed in his application. Let me just briefly explain. One would be $50,000 for a comprehensive facility study. In order to begin this process, a comprehensive study of facilities must be undertaken to benchmark the needs of a sprawling 300-acre plus campus. It includes assessing modernization needs of the Nation Plant Science Building, an end-of-life cafeteria building, which must grow as the successful farm to table program expands, as well as the library space, which is inadequate to meet the technological needs of digital learners. So hopefully this $50,000 comprehensive facility study will fit nicely. We believe it does into CDS spending. The second prong, which was for curriculum development. These funds would be used for the environmental science department to provide professional development as well as curriculum creation to respond to the changing climate-driven needs of environmental education. They would assist the school with forging partnerships with the University of Massachusetts Extension, Stockbridge, and become a leader in ag solar education, combining green energy production with crop cultivation and botanical education and food production. So it's a total of $100,000 earmark that we'd be looking for. I did reach out to Superintendent Martin, who confirmed that they had not previously submitted one, so there's no duplication of effort. Bill did a nice job on this application. I want to again thank him. He collaborated with Senator Markey's office, Ben Thomas, a former friend of the county, who's helped us before. So it's off. We'll see what happens over the next several months. As the saying goes, you don't get nothing if you don't ask for it. So we'll see how it plays out.
Yeah, Bill, I just wanted to say that Bill had
Go ahead.
reached out before and the deadline was coming up. And I
All
felt,
right.
as chair of the Aggie, let's make use of this. So I appreciate his effort there. That was great. He did that, and let's see what happens. I did see.
I'll get
Jim
these copies
Cantwell.
done. I'll get these down to John Martin.
I saw Jim Cantwell Friday,
Alrighty.
and I happened to mention to him, make sure he knew that maybe something's coming in the works. So that's great. That's a great thing. Thank you, Bill. Thank you.
Commissioners, just following up on activities for electric vehicle charging station. There's an appointment at 10 o'clock tomorrow. I have a kind of a conflict, so I know Charles Cushing from our electrician will be there to meet Commonwealth Electric folks who are doing some site assessments and evaluation and engineering of the area for potential charging. They're moving quickly with the application that was submitted last week. That's tomorrow morning. And then finally, just a reminder to the commissioners and those listening this evening, we have our next scheduled Finance Committee at 6 p.m. and 7 o'clock, the advisory board / public hearing on the FY25 budget begins. So we'll see everybody then. And that is all I have for updates, Mr. Chairman. It's now 1:20.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we're at 1:30. Your attention goes to item number 11, bid openings. Nancy, please. We have one bid today for school bus transportation for a period of 1 year with 2 one-year options for renewal.
Hello.
Good afternoon, Nancy.
Hi.
I just outlined that we have a bid opening today for school bus transportation.
Hi, come on in.
School,
Thanks, Pete.
We received one bid from Holmes Bus Transportation out of Norfolk.
And that's the present vendor, correct?
That is our present vendor. They have bid, per live mile price, regular day, $6.45 a mile. Waiting time price, $75. Minimum price, $500. Security cameras on each bus, which is an option, $1,000 per bus. Propane fuel buses. No bid. These prices are firm for 3 years, as far as I can see. We only have the one bid.
That's it.
oh, I'm sorry. So we only have one bid.
Yes.
We're gonna take it under consideration, check out everything, Commissioner.
What's
Say-
if you could explain, what you're saying, waiting time, I mean, what's that mean? If they wait 5 minutes or an hour, it's still $75? What's waiting time? What do you mean waiting time?
When I go to a sports, like if I go from the Aggie.
What's your name, sir, for the record?
Ryan Holmes.
Okay,
So if you do a sports trip, you leave the Aggie, you go to Norwood,
yep,
they play a game, it takes like 3 hours.
Sure. that's waiting, okay. Oh, while you're in service, but you're waiting for the game to get done.
And then we only use that on the longer, when you guys go way down the Cape, it's all the time. We just been charging, they didn't charge.
So it's mostly sports extracurricular.
Yeah, that's all it is. Yeah, nothing to do with regular day-to-day trips. No. Just-
Are you the present vendor?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
That was all I have. So this gets under advisement, right? We don't vote it today,
Nancy,
No,
we
I'm
can-
gonna send a copy of this up to the school.
right?
okay,
their
we're gonna do our due diligence, but I think
Right,
it'll be fairly,
yeah. Well, that's
Swift.
right. Pretty soon. Well, we don't sit on it all summer, don't worry.
No.
It'll be moved
We'll
on.
have buses for the fall.
All right, so it's nice to meet you. Thank you for coming. I'll
Okay.
we take it under advisement.
all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you a lot. Good seeing you. Thanks for coming.
Okay, moving right along. Contract awards, we have none. Bid openings, we did. Number 14, emergency items, topics the chair did not reasonably anticipate. They do not have any today. As said earlier, we have our advisory board tonight at 6 and 7. Any other items, Commissioners?
Yeah, probably out of left field, but that's the way mine works. I'm a lefty. We've had some good comments and some constructive comments on our new personnel handbook. And this is for you, of course, the chair.
Yeah,
And the director told us they were gonna take it under advisement and, look at it. So I wanted to make it more formalized. Could we maybe get an update on those kind of things, maybe by the beginning of summer, something like that? That'd be reasonable. Or-
Could you be more
Well,
clear?
there was some comments from the school and comments from different people that are non-union, and they wanted, I don't have those things per se, but comments were made that, you were gonna look into it.
Right, so
So
very briefly, I can just give you an
what's
update.
the process on that?
The county has wrapped up its impact bargaining with AFSCME. We're clear on the county side.
Okay,
The same law firm as represents, different lawyer represents the school. And I'm told that Mr. Martin and that attorney have done meetings with those interested parties.
okay,
So as soon as the schools come to a conclusion on what, if any, impacts they may want to negotiate, they'll go up through the attorneys and they'll talk about whether or not it impacts the employee handbook.
okay,
Once they're clear, then we'll bring totality back for you for a final review.
that's what I was looking for.
Maybe a month away. I don't know.
All right.
Okay, good. Okay,
Okay, anything else?
that's it.
I'll have a motion to adjourn, please.
Movie adjourned at 1:32.
Motion made second, all in favor?
Aye.
I didn't break any records.
Nope.